This is my contribution.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
We have the Israeli flag.
The Israeli flag.
And a guy sitting in the sun enjoying himself. And this is the latest Nobel Prize that we have of subcrystals. This is the last.
Crystal infrastructure.
Quasi-crystals, which was done by Professor Shechtman, who won the Nobel Prize. So this is Israel. Science, sun, and Google.
Perfect. Let me just show you. That's right. I think we have a budding artist at Google in the form of Bibi Netanyahu.
This is the end of my artistic achievements.
That's great.
This is great. This is wonderful. This is great.
Thank you.
Hold this.
Now, which one is more important, Charles or the Prime Minister?
Well, it's part of. This is past. This is future.
Yes. Okay. That's perfect.
Thank you. It's great.
Thanks, everybody. I wanted to tell you a story of an Israeli engineer working in Tel Aviv. This particular engineer decided to build a framework to store and search all the world's art and archaeology and history, and they started with the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
But the framework that he built, and I talked to him last night, is the one that's now being used for every museum in the world.
Really?
Right, so it's another example of something which started in Israel, to do the right thing for Israel, by the way, that globalized. So here's I wanted to show you, here's an example. I wanted to give this to you. This is, obvious, you recognize the Dead Sea Scrolls. And what we did is, of course, we have English translations, and we used special technology to allow you to read it in its original form.
I want to tell you about it. When my son was in first grade, I took him to the Dead Sea Scrolls, and I showed him this scroll of Isaiah, and I said, start reading. And he read, he was reading. And he read it, in the same language,
2,000 years ago.
same text, and, a first grader read then what he can read now, reads now what was written then. So that's cultural heritage.
No, absolutely. And the other thing that I wanted you to know is that we've been looking at the impact of the internet on Israel and Israeli growth. You all have the largest impact on your economic growth. In many ways, because more than half of your economic performance is driven by exports, and those exports, in your case, because you don't have a lot of natural resources, are people and ideas. So here, for example, is a study from McKinsey that actually documents this. So not only are you the best in this stuff, but you're also the best in terms of things we care about, which is exports around high tech.
Well, welcome.
Yeah.
Is this your first visit?
Believe it or not, in all the years that I've worked with Israeli companies, this is my first physical visit here.
Really?
And I now understand why everybody was so excited about the country. Yeah. It really is startup nation.
Yeah,
and for the stuff that I do, it's like the perfect positive storm.
Yeah.
The sum of the educational system, the way the military works.
It's the curse into the blessing.
Well, no, but you may not appreciate how significant an advantage it gives you because you're used to it, right? You live it, but it's notably different from any other country, and you really feel it.
It's an interesting discipline. I was in a special unit 100 years ago, and the discipline there was you're disciplined in performance, but you're absolutely undisciplined in thought.
Yes.
Go out of the box. Just do whatever you want, and come in on time.
And what's interesting is that it has aspects of Silicon Valley that are quite distinct from many other countries. Everybody wants to
replicate. Same people. Come on.
No, that's true. That's true. Well, but what's interesting is that this notion of creative failure. I think your word is chutzpah. Yeah. The sum of all of that, it's actually intrinsic. But combined with and the other thing about your people is they're slightly older. The 3 years in the military plus college, they show up a lot more organized in life, maturity, and you really feel it.
It's a combination of thinking out of the box but getting things done in time.
I turn out to be a large personal investor in Israel through my own personal investments, and I met with them yesterday, and everyone follows the same format. It's a guy who has data analytics capability. He learned it in the military. He's put this thing together, and they're going to win. And their ability to describe their sort of competitive environment and the competitive challenges is the best I have seen.